Perdido ya me
Anna, did you get confirmation from Southeast Asia and European Secretariat that they would? Okay, so it's only Southeast Asia. Okay, I guess we shall start. Hopefully, and Steve is with that. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our webinar number 9. A lot has been happening, so we try to keep the meeting agenda as short as possible, so just brief updates. Unfortunately, we've not received any written update from most of the offices, so we kindly ask you to please give us your written update so that we can start saving those. We are busy with reporting to UN Habitat, so we need those quite urgently, please. I see a few new people listed. Is there anybody new online at the moment also that would like to quickly introduce themselves? Please go ahead.
South Asia office. We have Ashish Verma here with what? Yeah, sorry. We have Ashish Verma here, my colleague is working on LEDS. He's part of the call today. Rishabh Jha is also part of the call today, and he's also part of the team that's working on LEDS in South Asia office.
Okay, wonderful. Welcome.
Hi, good morning. It's Igor here. I'd like to introduce to Mariana. She is our intern. She will be in this call today. And David, but David's not here yet, but he will probably join us soon.
Como é que eu posso levantar minha mão aqui?
Okay, thank
Como é que eu
you.
levanto a mão?
Good. All right, let's start. Steve, just join us. Welcome, Steve. Is Irvan also coming or not?
I know he's in the field this week, so he can't do this tonight.
All right. Good. The office is there. The group is getting larger, which is also very nice. From outside at the moment, unfortunately, Luca and Ines are on holiday. Well, lucky, unfortunate for us. So we also are doing some of their work. So, quick run through. Let's start with one. As I briefly mentioned before, we are actually at the moment busy doing a brief update report to UN Habitat to get the second payment. For that, we currently need the office's work plans as well as brief reports which we had requested. And will be presented on the second.
I didn't quite hear what you were saying, but just to clarify, is the work just
we run linking. Right. Received the annual report out of LEDS now, and all the rest things are pending. And agreement of the regional officers on the reporting structure for the webinars, that has been sent to you by Anna, I believe. And Anna can maybe just quickly run through it that we just will read. So it will be a similar structure for the 4 regional officers implementing with cities, and then ICLA Europe and the World Secretary will be a little bit more flexible in terms of what they report on. Because Anna,
cool.
Okay, sorry about this. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so this is the file that was sent to you all by email to the Urban LEDS group. So this was the proposal that was sent regarding the general structure for the regional offices to report. This is the proposal. Let's have your comments. So basically, we propose that you report on activities and achievements, on problems encountered, on city needs, on your office's needs, also on the back. Sorry, not seeing the second slide for the arrows. How about now? No. Give me a moment, sorry about this. I'm not sure what's wrong. Okay. So basically, there are a lot of common points between rules that are listed here and the general structure for the narrative report. But this is basically to, well, to help us get feeling where we stand and where we can be of help also. So we propose that you report on the activities that have been going on in the previous month, if we continue to do these webinars monthly, on the problems encountered, on the city needs, on your office's needs, on the activity, the project advisory meeting, and plan steps for the coming month. Also, we would appreciate your suggestions on themes for the news section on the website and also for ICLA iNews. We also, of course, included a proposed structure for the World Secretariat. So the second slide of the presentation, you have here also the reporting structure that we propose to use, and once again, your suggestions, comments are very welcome.
Okay, thanks a lot, Anna. Are there any questions or comments at this moment? You can also have time to reflect on this a little bit, but I think our intention would be to just get very efficient time updates from you before these webinars take place. We would like your update also urgently now for the current reporting we're busy doing. In principle, the aim will be that we optimize our time with these webinars where we really discuss main issues, but that people do get a bit of read and in particular understand what we're already doing. I think it will help us to become a bit more efficient with our time spent in these webinars.
Right.
Yes, Stephen.
Is the intention that these monthly reports will be directly into the larger narrative reports? And if so, Are we going to use the structure that's in the narrative report? Because I know there's some slight differences there for changes introduced, implementation, achievements and results and things. So we then have to report in a different structure for the actual official narrative report.
Okay, what the intention would be is we put your input already into the structure for the main big narrative report, and you can just do quick updates where we missed some particular elements or where you felt you wanted to send a stronger message.
Okay, and I would ask if the structures could match, because they don't currently match. What we're being asked to report in the monthly webinar doesn't match the
well, the structure for the narrative report is according to work package, and that is the way we have to report to you. And the reporting style that Anna proposes now is really much to help us focus on the work itself, and we could then just copy and paste into the narrative report, so you would not be required to do it. We would be helping you with the narrative report from that side.
Yeah, okay. Because the narrative report also has changes, implementation, achievements, results, anticipated future challenges. So at the moment, those three sections be covered by our monthly reporting. That's just my point. We're just a bit more work later on, I think. So.
Yeah. I'll come to just look at it again and make it as compatible as we can. Okay. Also good news for getting a new intern who has studied urban planning, so she will also help us with that particular focus area, which is, I think, still our weak point in this consortium. So we are inviting you to suggest tasks for the lady. She's a Russian who studied in the US. Her name is Ksenia. And yeah, Stephen indicating to connect to the special planning experts that you guys are bringing in. So we would like to very much ideally make a working group on that as well. Any comments on work package 1 before we switch to work package 2? Oh, okay. Very brief update. We are still busy with the website. We have a new designer in-house revising the features of the website as well, so we'll give you hopefully some good news in a few weeks. So that's an ongoing process in any case. Please keep sharing news if you have any. Congratulations to Santos again for rating our profile through the awards.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's encourage all the other officers to try and do the same. I do know the opportunities are quite different in each region, but yeah, I think in general, definitely I've heard from the commercial people, New Embito, is that we're getting visible now, and they're looking forward to getting now news on the substance of the work we're doing with the city. Okay, over to work page 2, designing urban LEDS. I admittedly have not had a chance to talk to Stephen about the Urban LEDS guidebook, but essentially our Green Climate is 27 steps on our essentially finalized. Stephen had a last few comments which I still needed to respond to, and then we can use that as the basis for the guidebooks. I had asked Siegfried, but actually this is a question or a request to all of you to pull maybe where you have useful guidebooks that are ICLEI ownership, ICLEI property, which we could use perhaps by copying and pasting text or extracting nice images and graphs. Please share that with both Stephen and myself so that we can then really plan and map the outline of the book and see where text blocks already exist. The aim is not to reinvent the wheel in my book, but really to get the best quality text that we have available to make a nice handbook. Stephen, any comments from your side? Okay. What Stephen has originally made an outline for the structure. I think we should revise that and just see if we're still on track with all the new recent developments, and then we can share that with you and start bringing things together. On the country profile templates and timing.
Thank thank you to Stephen for sending us the fill-in sections. I think it was the 2 first sections for the city profile. This was a good testing to see which fields would work and which fields we might exclude. On this, I will follow up, exchange a bilateral email with Stephen on details, and then just to let you know that internally we have separated the country profile section from the city profile, and so within this process we will now have 2 results, 2 outputs, but basically the content doesn't change much. It's just a rearrangement. What I would like to know is if from your office, from the African Secretariat, after this experiment, if Stephen, if your office has overall recommendations, if you found this exercise of gathering this information useful or not.
I think it was useful. One of the municipalities has an in-house consultant that did the job for them, and she said it's extremely valuable. There's still ways to collect that kind of information about up to date, not just the city profile, but also the parking questionnaire. They kind of did those combined. But yeah, it's been quite a challenge to get all that data. And, we've had to push the municipalities.
Okay, thanks, Stephen. I will follow up. I will follow up still today to just with some clarifications on the city profiles that you provided. Okay, just asking for a couple of clarifications. That's it for me, Marek. I don't know if you have further information on this.
Okay, that's fine, thank you. So you'll send around, ideally then, the latest version that people can then update, or has not yet concluded this profile.
Anna, can I ask a question?
Yes, sure.
What's the plan in terms of visibility of city profiles and when they might be visible? In terms of what proportions are going to be going online, and I'm not quite clear on that.
Yes, sorry, Stephen, I couldn't hear you completely, but let's see if I understood what you were saying. Internally, to be honest, there hasn't been a final decision on the templates for the city profile and the country profile. This has been a long process. The original proposal was that the initial tabs, country profile, the overview, the about to government, the greenhouse gas emissions profile, the activities profile, that will be public, and that only the tab on the urban LEDS project, so which would include also the GCC methodology implementation progress, during that only the urban LEDS tab would not be publicly available, but would have restricted access. This was the original proposal, but internally there has not been a decision on this. But I will use I will revise the information that you provided from your cities to revise the proposal and internally, and try to push to see that if we finally get a decision on this. Did this address your question?
Yeah, thanks, Anna. From an AS perspective, I think we would feel it had been a little bit of a waste of time if we did all that data, but none of it goes, it's not shared publicly. I think it's a useful thing to share publicly. So that would be our contribution to
Okay.
Absolutely.
I also think, I mean, one of the main target audiences with whom we would share these profiles would be the European cities in any case. So it would be very much a useful internal document, in addition to being part of it being available for the public website as well. But we would probably need to check with the cities whatever we put on the external website that they just approve that as well, because it might contain what they regard as confidential information. But this is a discussion we will have with Joe.
Could I ask a question, please? This is Steve,
yes.
The other Steve. I'm just a bit vague on all of this one because I haven't personally been directly involved in developing our city profiles, but I know we had a format that we were following. So we're just saying that Anna is going to send us a slightly revised template. Is that correct, for us to populate? Sorry, I'm a little bit out of touch with where we're up to with this.
Anna?
Can you hear me? Yes? Well, I would hope to have internal approval first before sending you, so that there would be no more multiplication of templates, and this would be it. This would be the final. That's
good. And once you've achieved that, I mean, we've already done the city profiles, and I'm sure it was according to an earlier set of headings that were sent. So what happens when we get the fresh templates? Do we then repopulate the new template with the material from the earlier profiles?
Oh, I want to assure you, Steve, that they are very similar.
Okay.
We may eventually be talking about dropping a couple of fields, adding a couple of fields that you've already provided information on about your cities, on their expectations and things like that. So don't worry, it won't be added volume of work. Don't worry.
No, that's okay. I just wanted to be clear. And also, are we doing similar profiles for the satellites or only for our model cities?
That's a valid question. I think we've not decided on that yet. What I would recommend we internally, I'll discuss with Joe when he's back from his holidays. Our assumption was that these would be made all online profiles eventually. So I think that might also then be easier to complete. But then in part it's part of the local action database, and then the Urban LEDS part is then part of the Urban LEDS project, and we're trying to merge these the databases that we're going to be using for this. So I would initially now just say just for the model cities, and we'll try and upload. If these all go online, then we'll let you know, and then it's also easier to complete and just double check the information to see if anything is missing.
Okay, thanks for that.
Good. All right, then we go to Heat Plus. Everybody's super excited, Soumya, that you're back again, and we look forward to the news on that. Or was it
Yes,
Kavita? There we go.
No, this is Soumya here. I'm logged in as Ashish Verma.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm having some issues with my laptop and it's not connecting. Okay. On Heat Plus, we have the inventory part of it up and ready, and it's working. Currently, as we speak, we're doing an upload onto the German server. But with regard to reports, there were quite a few issues that I had, and we are pushing to get them resolved pretty soon. We watch till tonight, and if I don't see them resolved to my satisfaction, I will be in Hyderabad in the next couple of days, and I will be sitting with the software guy to get it resolved. So as with respect to creating an inventory and getting the GHG inventories going for cities, it is possible even now. Just on the reporting front, I have asked them to disable all the report links, and once we're satisfied with what we see, we will ask them to expose those links also. As and when these guys are updating the server, you will see a maintenance, under maintenance, the site's under maintenance message on the website. And as and when they're clearing up issues, they're going online, they're taking down the software, going onto the German server and updating the software. And that's why access to the software has been restricted over the last 4 or 5 days. But this is as yeah, we're pushing to get those reports resolved. Unfortunately, I would have liked to see them done by the 15th of June. That was the deadline we had given them. We've been pushing them since then, yeah, I apologize for the same. But we are doing our best. We are testing all the versions. I have asked them. I think they've completed the testing of the Indian version. They've completed the testing of the Brazilian and the South African versions. All the bugs have been reported and they've been resolved. I have just seen the latest status. There are about 10 bugs which are remaining on those versions. The next one that they will start with is the Indonesian version that they will start resolving the bugs tomorrow. On our end, we have finished testing the Indonesian version as well. You'll kindly appreciate that all this takes a hell lot of a time, and with the software guys not resolving them as quickly as they're supposed to, we go in and do a secondary check, a tertiary check as well. And so this has been, I have a 4-member team sitting in Hyderabad and just working on this over the last 15 to 20 days. So that's what's going on at our end. We are not sleeping on it. In fact, we're having sleepless nights because of it. But we'll try and get those reports online as soon as we can.
Okay, thanks, Soumya. Any questions from colleagues? So, Soumya, if you say we can do inventories for our cities already? Okay, Stephen, over to you.
Hi, Soumya.
I had a question from Siegfried here.
Siegfried, let's just first give Stephen a chance, then you're in the line.
Yep.
Hi, Soumya. We spoke with Ali today, and I just want to clarify just what you said just there, what you spoke with him about. Suggested we only start using Heat Plus to input new data and creating new profiles on the 10th of August. Is this also what the message you're giving us here?
Yes, Stephen. Yesterday I had asked Ali to say it is the 10th of August because, like I said, if you keep accessing the software, once you see that under maintenance board is gone, you will still be able to do it now. But on and off, we will be taking the server down to get these updated. So you will not have access at that point. So that could be frustrating for all of you. So that is the reason I have told Ali that you will be able to input data only from the 10th of August. But in terms of the capacity of the software, it is up there and it is possible. And I've also checked with them that you will be able to pull previous data for FFLNE that you have put in. So I've had this discussion with the software guy as well. You will be able to access all that. But yeah, like I said, access is now restricted because these guys are periodically bringing it down.
Okay, but is there any risk, apart from us having moments and days we can't access it, is there any data risk in inputting data from today in terms of that when you do things to the server we might lose data, we might have to repeat things, or is it just the case that there'll be a few blackout days where we can't use it?
There will be blackout periods every day, especially during Indian working time. There should not be a risk to your data. You could still go ahead. I will check with them and make sure that the logins for both your cities are active and up and running. But I would request you to hang on till I say go ahead, because like I said, we have finished testing at our end. There are a few bugs which are still there with the software. It will again not prevent you from using it, but there are a few bugs which they still need to resolve. The inventory is working, but I'm talking of bugs on the reporting side, which they are still resolving. So it's up to you. If you still want to go ahead and use it before August 10th, you will be able to do so. The inventory will work fine. There will not be a problem with calculations, but the rest of it you would still see an issue.
Okay, I think that it would probably be best if everybody who wanted to work on their inventory side for their cities then work in the time when it's nighttime in India, preferably, so that you're not disturbed then by the blackout period. Siegfried, over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Soumya, what are the plans for a European version of Heat Plus?
Yes, Sigrid. One, the European version we will be testing as soon as we finish the Indonesian version. It is being done parallelly. So everything that is being changed on one country version is being parallelly changed on all the other country versions. What I would request the entire team, and I've been requesting multiple times till now, is please send us any updated emission factors that you're seeing that you have access to that we can put into the software. Siegfried, I shared the emission factor data set with you for Europe. If you could kindly get back to me with your impressions.
Yes, I didn't have any more up-to-date data, but I will keep searching for more.
Okay,
Siegfried, I could recommend maybe you, Soumya, and myself can have a quick email chat about this, because there are also a lot of other potential developments for Europe which we need to still discuss.
Just a question. I'm sorry.
Yes, Igor?
No, I just want to ask Soumya. We are, at the moment, Recife has requested a very urgent work to develop their GG inventory, and I'd like to know if it's already possible to test the HIT Plus version internally, just for us to get to know what's going on, so we are able to explain to them how this structure is going to work. So I'd like to have access to the actual version of HIT Plus, just for the GG inventory site.
Yes, Maraki, we had shared with you login IDs for all the country versions. Ali had shared that with you, and with an understanding that we will send this to the regional offices.
Yes, I had asked one of my colleagues to do that. We'll quickly check, and Igor will send you your login details. Apologies for that.
No, I will also forward that email to the entire Urban LEDS group. So we actually did create user logins for each of the country versions that are online right now. And so you could already go in and see what's going on and how it has changed. I will share that email with all of you at the end of the call.
Okay, but if that email...
I had one question actually to Igor. I know Florence yesterday or the day before told me... Sorry, they told me that you had ideas to slightly change the data, the offline data form, because of some particular needs that you have. Could you maybe just share that with Soumya, that she understands where there are specific issues for Brazil?
No, yeah, sure, yeah. I have developed a spreadsheet for the collections, and now I will check with her, and I can share with the group.
Okay, wonderful, thank you. Are there any other additional questions on NEED+?
Yes, one more. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Anna.
Okay. Soumya, I would like to confirm if you feel comfortable to go ahead and still maintain the training dates that we had initially talked about for the HEAT Plus training, the 22nd and the 29th of August. Would it be better to delay these to September regarding taking into consideration the work progress? What do you think of this?
Yeah, I would get back to you on that day after tomorrow. Like I said, they said they have fixed a lot of the bugs on the reports, and they are updating the server right now. I would like to see what they have done, and that will give me a clear indication of how the work has progressed. So unless I see that, I will unfortunately not be able to answer your question. I apologize on that. I will send you an email day after tomorrow based on my review of all these reports that they will be generating tonight.
Okay, thank you.
All right. If at all possible, I would prefer that we don't move those dates, but we need to be pragmatic there, so we look to your guidance, Soumya. All right.
I will try and get it. I'm sorry. I will try and get it done by like I said, I told them that today was the deadline to get it done, otherwise I would go down there and they don't like me being down there. So, yeah, I'm pushing for it, Marake, and I'm doing my best on it. My team is doing their best on it. We'll see. We hope to maintain the August 22nd deadline.
Okay.
I mean, for the training, not for the software, for the training.
Yep. Okay. Understood. All right. We look forward to your update there. Good. Any last questions on Heat Plus before we move to Work Package 3?
Yes, please. If I can ask a question as well. Priscilla from Italy.
Yes, please do.
Just to ask a question around the GPC linkages to Heat Plus and if there will be a function to report on the GPC methodology.
Excellent question.
Priscilla, could you kindly repeat that? I could not understand your voice, bro.
It's about the GPC, Soumya.
The GPC reporting. Yeah.
Yep.
We are coding on that. I have frankly not given them the code on that as yet, or rather the logic, not the code, but the logic on that. I'm waiting for them to wrap up with the current Heat Plus, and then I will give them the logic on this. They take a week to do this, but it is possible to do it. We will not wait for this report to get done to release Heat Plus. We don't need it right away. So they can patch it in 1 week after Heat Plus with its reports go online. So there are a few questions we still have, and Chang, today I had a Skype conversation with her. Apparently there is a new version of the GPC now, which Chang was editing or looking at today to see what the differences were. And we are also taking a look at it tomorrow, and if the logic needs to change, I hope not, then we will do that. There is a bit of a technical understanding that we all need to have, especially with regard to data collection for Heat Plus and how the data is going to go into the GPC reporting. That impacts the kind of data we collect and how we manipulate, how we structure the data in Heat Plus. So kindly bear with us in the next couple of days. After I check with Chang, I'll have a guidance sent out to the entire group of how we need to collect. Nothing changes on the way you collect your data. It's just a question of how you create the records. So I will send out a detailed email on this in the next couple of days after we get our head around this new version of GPC that came in today.
Just a correction, there is no new version of the GPC. The GPC is currently in a test phase, and the WRI has shared additional guidance material to the cities testing it. So the current GPC is still the latest GPC, and we would aim to make Heat Plus GPC compliant. But obviously we will monitor what actually changes now in the test phase, what recommendations the cities make. So if any one of you also want to join that test phase, it is certainly practical, but I do know it's a staff capacity issue. So, but we'll keep in close touch on the GPC developments in any case, and from our side, Chang and Anna will be monitoring what is also happening on the GPC process. Good. Then we.
So Marike,
yes.
Marike, just a last question from my side, please. Initially, we had a discussion on how we will link this in, and I had shared an Excel sheet on how we are doing that reporting. So I'll have this discussion with you once tomorrow or day after. So just so we are all on the right page before we go ahead and give it to the developer.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I think I would also ideally like to bring in Yunus into that discussion because he's been our main person monitoring the GPC. So, but it's also not so urgent at the moment. I think first focus on getting the reporting fixed in Heat Plus, and then the GPC is the next phase that we can address.
Okay.
But essentially, I think all the regional officers can give the message to their cities that we aim to make Heat Plus GPC compliant, and this is a process that takes time, also because the GPC is in a test phase at the moment. Good, then let's hop to Work Package 3. Brief updates from all our regional officers in the implementing countries, starting with SAMS, please.
Hi.
Hi, Marika. This is Bruna. I'm here with Florenci and David from our office. Could you should I show the presentation on my screen, or would you open it there?
You can share it on your screen, and I will give access right away. Is that with Mariana's computer?
Just a quick check. Is it in Mariana's computer?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it showing?
It is.
Okay, great. Then on the activities and achievements report, on the guidance given to the cities, we have shared a draft work plan with all cities, including the satellite cities. We have done this before to the model cities, and they have been working on this. We have already a work plan ready for model city Recife. Fortaleza is still working on theirs, but we have all now also shared the work plan with all the satellite cities, so that we can pick activities with each of them, and they can also pick the activities that they will decide to carry on. For the benchmarking and scoping questionnaires, this was shared also with all model and satellite cities. They have been responding to it, so we have responses from most of the cities, and we are gathering more information as well. So as we receive the responses, we get in contact with them and ask for any missing information. We have been doing that bilaterally. We have drafted a seminar proposal for Recife for the first city event there, which we will make a national event. This has been pre-approved. It's all now for political approval, and we foresee this to be in September. We had one more visit to Recife. Florence has been in Recife. She has been with the mayor, and he has shown very good support to the project. So this is good news. And she has also met with the working group for an awareness-raising presentation. We have the GEG data collection sheet under development for Brazil, as Igor has mentioned before. We're working on a country version for that. And we have been providing support for the cities for the establishment of the stakeholder committees. We are gathering now a supporting kit to help the cities, which contains previous legislation approved by other cities which already have the stakeholder committee. Igor, if you'd like to add anything to that, just jump in.
Yes. Just one quick comment about the GAG data collections. Yes, I have developed this sheet, but we are just would like to have a technical review on this slide. I used the first spreadsheet that Sumia sent to the group in February. So I use that as my base, but I try to adapt that, but I'm not 100% sure if I've done everything correctly. So if you could help me some way, somehow, I would really appreciate it.
Sure, definitely. I think we'll take a look at it once you send it across.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Then for the activities carried out by the cities themselves, we had Model City Recife formally included the Urban LEDS work plan in the city goals. So this is a good achievement for us because the mayor actually follows up on the city goals and makes sure everything happens in time. For the information, we have the information collection for the scoping questionnaire underway. So we have received some responses already. We're waiting for some of them. The working group has been created in all model and satellite cities. We have one exception, which is Porto Alegre. They have delays due to political reasons there, but all the other cities have already created this work plan. And this has been formalized in Sorocaba so far by a decree from the mayor. And we have been present at the GPT WRI seminar in Rio. So for other, I added this on other, because I didn't see some of these things fitting in the previous category. So I added this for nationally relevant news. So we have this award, which we shared with all of you. And we're also following a national discussions on a system for estimation of GHG inventory. This is being carried under a group of NGOs called Climate Observatory, which we are part of. And we're also exploring a potential partnership with ITDP in Brazil. We have had delays in activities due to the Confederations Cup, which Brazil hosted. You have all been seeing and following up on the protests which have been happening here, and this has also caused a few delays in the city structure for them to meet. This has caused a few problems, and there also are still some government transition ongoing in a few cases, so these are very specific cases. We would like to report, just to let you know, we're looking. We have been having difficulty in receiving timely responses from our model city, Fortaleza. In exploring cities' needs, we have noticed that the lack of expert staff is an issue. And they have been requesting more constant presence of EQA to steer the processes. They have been feeling this need, and they have communicated this to us, especially in the model cities. Recife would like stronger support for the GHG inventory. As this is the first GHG inventory, they will need more constant presence to help with data collection. And in Fortaleza, the main issue that we have noticed is this is a new city government, and they lack internal governance structure at this point. They are still organizing themselves, and this has provided some difficulties for them in gathering the working group and getting the work done.
Just an amendment, Bruno. Sorry. Just about the receive request. I went to receive last month, a couple of weeks ago, and they are really willing to develop the GHG inventory by September. We already told them that it wouldn't be possible, but they really have this GHG inventory as a main target for this year. So they've shown really big interest in developing the GHG inventory, also other activities of the project. So I think it's a great opportunity for us to to focus at this moment and try to get as much as possible, and then enhance our communication with tools to help them, support them.
Igor, I have a question to you, Bruno. Do you require export water in that particular activity?
We might have, but we haven't decided yet, but it might be a possibility. We are trying to first define the strategy to develop their GHG inventory, and then we will see if they need a GHG inventory expert in local. But we haven't decided yet, but it might be a possibility.
Okay. I think typically the point that we would bring in additional experts outside of the team also to engage here and support at least training the trainer and stuff.
Yeah, sorry, if I may add, this is Florence. Basically, to add on that, basically their focus this year is the establishment of climate control, which is the stakeholders.
Loretta, you're breaking up a little bit. We can't hear you properly. Could you repeat, please? We can't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, now it's better. Please continue.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. So just to add then, it's basically their focus and objective this year is to conclude the GHG inventory, to establish
Did we lose Florence? Okay, I would say let's hand back to Bruna until we hear Florence again.
Hello?
Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I just changed the mic. I'm here in the same room with Bruna and David. Sorry. Yeah, just to repeat very quickly, their focus this year is to establish the climate change forum, to adopt the municipal plan on climate change, and to conclude the GHG inventory. This is all in order to allow them next year to focus on the plan and the project and all the stakeholder projects and everything. So one thing that might arise, and it's interesting for me already to stress this with you, because this might be interesting within Urban LEDS project. Recife is a very particular city which is growing very fast, and actually the metropolitan area is growing very fast, and it's very interconnected. So basically, the focus of the mayor, who is very, very close to the governor, is actually because any policy, urban policy, to be really effective there at this stage, really has to connect to the other cities, the 9 cities in the metropolitan area. So basically, there might be some space in the future, in the near future actually, to eventually, and we did that in Montevideo a couple of years ago with the UNDP, is eventually to see if we can get additional funding to have an inventory actually for the whole metropolitan area. And also, when we talk about the specific plan in Recife, either it's waste, mobility, or whatever, again, it's very, very difficult to do something effective. Sorry, can you hear me? Yeah, so basically to say that there it's a little bit more complex, but there's a lot of opportunities because eventually, yes, we will need to address and at least involve the other 19 cities from the metropolitan area. So it can get very complex, but very interesting too. So after talking to the mayor, I really think that we'll have to start thinking on get some additional funding to try to address the metropolitan area. Eventually with IADB, which is now has included Recife in their platform, or even the state government. So just to tell you that eventually specifically pilot city might the implementation there might be more complex, but might open lots of interesting doors for us in this project.
That's very good news. Thank you. Oh, that's very good news. Thank you, Florencia. Shall we hand it back to please?
So in terms of our office needs, the continuous, then we had already talked about the changes needs from the cities we have there. This will have an impact on our travel budget, and we are forecasting that we will probably need more of the travel budget to the cities, but also for for meetings with the national government and partners to articulate. For our planning, in terms of our planning of for our country implementation, we are feeling more and more the need to fix the changing dates on the global tools calendar as well, just for the impact that it might have. So far, we have been adapting fine, but I don't know how it will be in the future, so keep this in mind. We have already discussed this, the clear position on heat floods versus the GPC protocol, because this is something that we have been asked about by some of our cities, which are in urban LEDs and are also testing the GPC protocol in China. So this is good that we have clear position for them now. This is something we can check bilaterally later. I would just like to get clarity on one of the products that are testing on methodology set by part 1, just because we're budgeting it now for the city implementation budget, and I'm not so sure how much money is left. For the national advisory, the concept now under development, we're finalizing the partner. As for next steps, we're focusing on finalizing the work groups of the city, formalizing the work groups that have been created in the city as well, finalizing the benchmarking and scoping questionnaire, and our plan with that is to produce a baseline report for all of the cities, so not only the questionnaire, so that they can have this and share with the group and have the baseline report. Then we have the awareness questionnaire, which we it's still something that we need to share with them. The GAG data collection and model cities, which we're still to begin. We're still working on the sheet. Forming the stakeholder groups and the model cities. Our priority is in the model cities, but of course, the satellite cities to do that, and we'll also provide them some support. This is already underway. His city has already identified, and our expectation is that they will launch this formal stakeholder group in the event in September. Forming the national advisory group, and running the seminar and workshop in the city, which will be our next and goes in national. So as for the theme for iNews and the website, we have already shared the news bit of the award. And I think this would be good to discuss with all of you. What do you see as news? What steps in the methodology and the progress you see as news? In the next steps, or the steps that we're working on right now, what I see is that the formalization of the work groups could work as a news clip in each city as they come along, as the big fees come along. But I mean, this is something for us to discuss as a group.
Okay, does that conclude your presentation, Bruno? Okay, so the awards already gone up, so I fully agree with work groups must be implemented, and it would be good to get updates from all the officers. I think we should discuss the problems and the issues where you need support on a one-to-one basis. I need this week, maybe brainstorm all together on how to address some of those issues. I understand the budgeting for this city is going to be a tricky one, so we need to maybe get advice on how all the model cities are actually dealing with that. But the rest are all reasonably easy to deal with. So thanks a lot. Any questions or comments? No? Then we move to India. Soumya, will you give us an update, please?
Yes, I again have to apologize. I don't have a presentation as yet. I would of course send it to you tomorrow. I'm still catching up with a whole lot of stuff after coming back. Anyway, so with our cities, we have both our models on board the MOUs at times. Currently, there is a stage where we are collecting the GHG inventory data, and we are doing that for the previous 3 years so that we have some kind of a trend that we can establish. And we have data for till about 2007, 2008, 2008, 2009, but subsequent years is what we are collecting right now. In Thane, we finished, in Rajkot, we have finished about 75% of the data collection, and Thane, we just started a couple of weeks ago. Again, because we had to wait for the new commissioner to come in Thane. And with regard to the satellite cities, we have contacted all 6 satellite cities. We have personally met 4 of them, and we will be meeting 2 of them in the coming couple of weeks. We have MOUs signed by 2 of them, signed and sent to us. 2 other satellite cities are in the process of signing. We should get them in the next couple of days. And the last 2 which we are yet to meet, we will sign the MOUs with them once we go for a meeting, one-to-one meeting with them. What we are doing with the satellite cities is to actually do a greenhouse gas emission inventory and do a generic action plan for the satellite cities also. We are lucky in the sense that with 2-3 of them, we are engaging with them on other projects. So we have capacity to go in and collect information. Where we do not engage with those cities, we hope to have a short-term consultant who will help us get this information. We are still forming up this plan, but tentatively this is what we're going to do. With regard to the PAC, we have a tentative list. We're going to form that up in the next couple of days. We have a meeting of all the project cities, the satellite cities, and the PAC scheduled for the 23rd of August. Letters and intimation of the same will be going out this week. And that will kind of bring everybody on board from the national government. The state level representatives are on a stakeholder committee in the model cities. The stakeholder committees have also been kind of formed up, but the final signature of the commissioner on the stakeholder committees is pending. So this is what we will be pushing for in this month. We will complete our GHG emission inventory data collection. We will go into making the inventory using P+. We will finish the initial meeting with the CAC and with all the satellite cities and the model cities together in Delhi. This is what we have done. And yeah, with regard to the baseline benchmarking scoping exercise, that is ongoing in the cities now. With regard to assessing the level of understanding of climate change, questionnaire that is also being administered not in a formal manner, but this is being administered through a dialogue with these people. They don't like filling up questionnaires, but we know the questions, we have it with us. We engage all the 4 team members in a dialogue, and we try and get responses for each of these questions. That is the approach we are following in our model cities, in both the model cities. We are doing this only with the model cities. We will be preparing a city profile for the satellite cities, but we are not necessarily going in and doing this level of engagement with the satellite cities. So that's about it from my side. Any questions I can answer?
Okay, thanks a lot, Soumya. I do like the way that you individualize your country, though. That's exactly what the whole purpose behind this also is. So at the end of this project, I think it would be interesting for us to how things have been fine-tuned to adapt to the cultural conditions, the way people work and so on. So keep note of that also in your reporting. Good, then we move to our next country, Indonesia. Steve, may we ask you for an update?
Okay, thank you. Having a little bit of trouble hearing this end as well. We put together a report late last week following the bullet points that have been sent out, but I'm sorry we didn't put it into a PowerPoint format, but we did circulate it today. It just seemed to us that there was so much we wanted to put in. It was fairly difficult, a very big clunky PowerPoint presentation. I'm not too sure about that. So just I'll simply pick the eyes about on the report. As you know, we have got samples and they're very highly motivated MOU at the launch that we held in early July. They're doing all of the preliminary work right now, but things slow down in Indonesia right now with Ramadan and then the national holidays. So we won't be doing any substantive work for our city until mid-August. The other model city, Bogor, is moving very fast. But it's an interesting situation there because they are reviewing their 5-year development plan. We're sort of running the LEDS process in parallel with their internal planning review process. So they're collecting together a lot of documentation for the review of the plan, and a part of that is updating their GHG inventory. So we're sort of trying to dovetail our process, the early tools of our process, in with their process. And we'll tell you how that works in another couple of months' time. Satellite cities for Bogor are all signed up, and we've had initial meetings with them. They've already identified their priority areas of interest. And with the Balikpapan, we're looking for 2 satellite cities very close to Balikpapan who already have a relationship with them. But Balikpapan is taking the lead on that. So they've actually identified 1 city which everyone has agreed with, and they're now looking for their 2nd city. We're pushing them very hard to do that by the end of this week. But we think the beauty of letting Balikpapan take the head on this is, they will really exercise leadership. So that's cities. In Indonesia, and this exercise seems to be getting bigger and bigger as we go along, because at least 2 other of the regional ICRI offices, I think Japan and one of the others, could be Korea, have expressed interest in coming into Indonesia for the training. We're also trying to dovetail the training with other complementary programs in Indonesia, the GIZ programs, etc. So we're potentially looking at possibly a week of training activity, 2 or 3 different groups, one specifically for our purposes, our city people and our ICRI team, but then start looking for other ways of mainstreaming heat basically in Indonesia through other program areas. We're probably looking at September. We're not so fussed about pushing that hard in August for the reasons I mentioned before. So if we can get a program happening in September, that'll be good. And we'll try to co-fund that from some of the other program budgets as well. We had our first meeting of our project advisory committee, which probably we should have called a project advisory group. It was only a smallish group of people who attended, but some very key national players. And we've agreed to have formal meetings twice a year of that group and additional meetings if necessary, but also to send them bulletins in between so that they can keep in touch. But I think basically we'll probably be working on individual relationships with some of the PAC members as where we get our real leverage. The head of the litigation branch of the National Climate Change Council has agreed to chair the PAC, and he's the gentleman who was speaking with you in Bonn at the last UNFCCC talks. And we're also forging a relationship with a new program called Low Emissions Capacity Building. It's a national government initiative, and they're working on developing GHG inventory management systems, and they're very interested to look at Heat Plus, NAMAs opportunities, and MRV systems for NAMAs. They're very interested in working closely with ICLEI, and they've invited us to go on their technical advisory group. So we think through those 2 contacts we'll be able to really get to the heart of this movement in Indonesia and be quite influential. So that's pretty exciting, but we're probably spending more effort on that right now than on the city-by-city work. I should point out at the project advisory committee meeting and the launch of Urban LEDS, we did not have representatives from either EU or Habitat, despite the fact that they had been specifically invited a couple of times. So we've got an ongoing problem there with just lack of any real contacts. Probably the main challenge we're facing right now is a staffing one, because our key project officer, Indira, has left us. She's been headhunted, I think I can say, by GIZ sustainable transport program. So that's quite a loss because Indira had been working for ITDP beforehand and had quite a lot of expertise in sustainable transport. So we were offering her as an expert basically for the expert pool, and now we've lost that resource. But we're in the process of replacing that person. We've got some very strong applicants. So we'll get someone good, and out of adversity comes opportunity. Might leave it there, I think. Thank you.
Okay, David, so finally unmuted. I just decided to mute everybody because it was quite noisy. Thanks a lot, Steve, for that. Indeed, for us, it was super useful to move forward with the finalization of satellite studies. I find it interesting that Alikapan is taking the lead on that. So please keep us posted. Also, the loss of Indira is a pity. I think we need to be aware that we are yeah, this is something that would happen probably more and more. But ideally, we offer a fun position for most of our staff and keep them very busy and nicely entertained with all our interesting projects. But we do need to pool knowledge. I think this is one of the key things that I've learned. If we do stuff, we should not lose knowledge that they've built with us and for us. So we do need to find a better mechanism maybe for sharing the know-how that we're building. Good, then our last thoughts, South Africa. Over to Stephen.
Thanks, Veronica. Just a quick question to Steve. Steve, when you were talking, I lost the signal a bit, but you mentioned that you still running a training program in September or something for your municipalities. Is that right?
Yes, Steve. I think we discussed this one at the previous webinar. This is bringing whoever Somia and Kavita nominate from the survey team to Jakarta for a fairly substantial program of training. Yes, for our own team as well, for our LEDS team, but also we're hoping to be able to make it available to other partner organisations who are running similar programs and who may in fact take up these in other cities in the future. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Steve. Sorry, I didn't hear quite what you were saying, so thanks for the clarification. From our side, we also just sent through a Word document, same as Steve called it. We've done it about 102, so if you've seen it yet. But our activity since the last webinar on the 18th of June, we ran a 2-day energy and climate change training event just for one of our model municipalities, Steve Schwette. We've attached the link to an article on the ICLE Africa website. You can go on the local website as well. It was deemed necessary to get everyone on the same page in terms of what's climate change and what is the energy mandate of municipalities. We had a second day where we focused on green buildings, and we had a number of external speakers come. It was a very successful couple of days. In terms of the rest of the activities with the model municipalities, with Steve Schwette, we've completed the greenhouse gas data collection. We're now doing, Priscilla is leading on doing the analysis of the data. We had a 14% return rate on the staff awareness questionnaire, so 14% of all the staff in the municipality. So Ryan is now analysing those results as well. And they've drafted a reference for a climate change committee, which is now being finalised by the municipal manager. Sort of analysis phase is going well in Steve Schwette. Kuala Kuza a little bit further behind. Priscilla visited the municipality on the 1st of July. We had an 11% return rate approximately. Some of them are still coming in. And we've mostly collected the greenhouse gas data, but one big portion of that is still missing. Just an interesting point in terms of what they're doing themselves. We can ask them to do this. One of the executive directors who done this actually projects. Can you hear me?
So you were breaking up a little bit there. Okay, so you were breaking up a little bit there at the end. We'll try and capture the minutes as complete as we can. As well. Good, but I think it sounds like all our country officers are really very active. Any general questions?
Marika,
Yes.
I was just asking if you could hear me. That's all.
Partly, it was broke up. The sound is fine. Otherwise, at other times we can't hear you at all. So that's why I said just maybe let's just review them and then properly.
Okay, I also can't really hear you, Marika. Maybe I'll just send the report so you can look at the rest of it there, but just to flag a few things. I think it's the regional office needs. We've kind of mentioned most of the things for the and we would have a advisory group meeting until the first and second week of September. But we are forming another stakeholder platform with some of the key partners to engage national government and others outside of projects. And just on in terms of next steps, we are working on doing a scenario building process for one of the municipalities still in 2013, so that we'll be able to futures process, develop a future scenario for the municipality, and we're talking to a number of consultants that support us in that. So we hope that will be done in time for the networking seminar, or at least there will be some lessons learned from that process for the networking seminar in November. I'm finished now.
Okay, thanks a lot, Stephen. All right, good. But I think also the quality of Skype is sometimes not so great, or the webinar, so that's why we need your written reports as well. So thank you very much. I just would like to reiterate, so please send us your written reports, your presentations, if you had any now, as well as all MOUs that have been signed, the lists of your PAGs or PACs, including the names of the people, the organizations that they represent, but also in brackets maybe the strategic relevance of a particular organization or person, so that we understand where they fit into the process in your country. And I believe we probably will then also need to start revising a little bit and maybe update our list model and satellite cities with their brief definitions and information, which we can then share with all our cities that they feeling connected before our meeting in South Africa takes place. Good. I think we can quickly hop to work page 4. Ideally now really just give very brief summarized updates because we are running out of time. So over to Stephen again for our PMG meeting.
Okay, I hope you can hear me okay. The good news is that Mandela Bay have given us a letter confirming they will host a networking seminar, so we now have that ability to send funding to that. So I think we will probably send through myself and Secret a list of required information from your side, but the very first bit of information is who, in terms of ICA staff, will be attending. And I guess we'll have to draft some general recommendation letters which you can then take back to your cities to determine how many of your cities attend. But we're already looking into venue locations, but obviously very quickly we'll need to have an indication of numbers so we can book accommodation. In terms of the organization, obviously we'll be involved on our soil and Secret and the ES because it's the European dimension, but we're hoping also perhaps the World Secretariat will help with some of the logistical organizations so you know who's using emails and what topics. Mark, I'm not sure if you want to end at this stage.
Well, I think discussing it now would be a bit pointless if the sound is not perfect, so I would imagine the best would be to ask, maybe send around the latest program again to the whole group, asking particularly how many people would be on which days. Anna can share her Excel spreadsheet, which she developed to indicate when people should be arriving and there, and then we can use those to track, and ideally people can then start booking their flights. We definitely want there from the first day to the last day. So this for a whole week, as we had agreed. That would then be the person who joins the city seminar, but also participating in the Urban LEDS project meeting and in the group training. So ideally a person. But we'll follow up, I think, by email now.
Okay. Can I just ask, please, the draft program and dates, we've already got that loaded on the intranet, haven't we? Just for us to go back and refer to.
Yes, we'll just revise that. So the list Anna is showing now, we'll delete the wrong option and just show you the latest correct one. So Anna, just liaise with Stephen on that we just get the final event in the proper order, and then you can use those two documents then as your documents for booking your flight and so on. I will be in touch with Stephen and with Siegfried about the logistics for the event, that we just see who can deal with that as soon as well. Okay, but this is very good news. The flights will become super expensive because this is really a hot seat for flights as soon as you possibly can for the staff, but also for the people we want there. Most of you had indicated you wanted to bring your political leaders, so again, try to get them there. This is, I think, very much a place where our cities can connect to one another at a political level. So we will make programs to address the MIPs. If you cannot get a mayor or a deputy mayor or a senior political person, then the most senior technical person that you could get, ideally the head of the relevant department, also would also be wonderful. If you have any problems, yep, just a moment. If you have any problems bringing anybody, let us know as soon as possible, that we do know to adjust the numbers as well. Yes, George, over to you.
Sorry, I apologize for the interruption. I just want to let you know and maybe give an idea also to other offices if they might be interested. I got in touch with our travel agent here in Freiburg, and I asked for the possibility of booking flights, although we still don't have the names. And she said that if it's one person flight, you can do that, but it's a group ticket. That's possible. She was mentioning the minimum group ticket is 10 people, and there is a reservation at time for which you can reserve the same price. So we were thinking, for example, to have all the European from France and all the 10 tickets reservation for as much as possible. And then before the reservation expires, check again if the flights, let's say, as a group, will be more expensive or expensive, each of them trying from see how many of them will actually be able to pay. So you depend on the company that you're traveling with, an airline, but still a good opportunity if you want to pre-book and try to save some money.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, may I just interrupt for a second? Just a little concerned. I did send an email to the IMC a couple of days ago about the acceptance, the agreement of the government of Poland and the city of Warsaw to host the Sea Day and all the complete agenda that we have discussed for COP. So I'm just we kind of expect to have a larger presence at COP this year, which is basically, if I saw correctly, the date is just the 2 weeks before, previous 2 weeks before the 20th of November. So now that I see the program here for Africa, now I'm just a little bit concerned because we won't get, for sure we won't get the same cities and the same senior staff from cities and this is also applying for equal steps in both events. So I just wanted to know how you, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
We've got Nantes, and then we have South Africa, and then we have Warsaw in South Africa. So what we have decided, we definitely need senior people at LEDS in South Africa. This is the project that actually paid for a lot of the work that we're busy doing. For Nantes, a few selected mayors have been invited. I'm not sure if there's an overlap with any of your model city people. It would, if you could get back to me if they have been invited. I can also check the list internally. The strategic events. If you could just mute.
Muted.
Okay. Good, I've been unmuted again. Wonderful. So the Nantes event is a politically strategic event because of the roadmap. And here, I do believe there might be a small overlap with our model cities, but I will check. And if you know of any invitations to Nantes, please let me know. For the COP, we had agreed that this would be a much smaller event than we had in any case anticipated prior to all the planning that has been going on. And I do not foresee any of our model cities being invited then to attend the COP. But again, if the mayor wants to go, then also I guess we would not say no. So we need to closely liaise on this. Internally, Eunice, Luca, and myself dealing with that. The problem is both Eunice and Luca are on holiday, and there has not been close coordination so far. So again, I say urban LEDs need to get preference for our model cities, that they really start meeting one another and working together, because this is the whole purpose of the project. The rest is a nice to have. Florencia, I think, does that answer your question?
Unmuted.
Marika, this is Steve. Can I just clarify that a little bit further, because certainly I had the impression that Eunice was urging us to send at least some political leaders to Warsaw, and he was also, I thought, urging us in SEAS to see whether one of our mayors could go to Nantes. And that's a little different from the picture we're now receiving. So I think
this is why I'm saying things have not been well coordinated.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
This is, again, we would need, I think for our Urban LEDs project, we would need ideally one mayor who wants to go to Warsaw to the COP to be our person that would be speaking at side events and so on. I do not foresee a whole Urban LEDs delegation going there. There would also only be a one-day city event in Warsaw. In Nantes, it's at least a little bit earlier. If you've already identified which mayor you would like to have there, maybe the deputy could then come to South Africa as a backup strategy.
You probably will discuss that later. It's an email Gino sent a couple of days ago to IMC, and because Eunice is on holiday, probably this information didn't get to you all. But it has just very recently confirmed by the government of Poland the agreement and the support and UNFCCC support for the Cities Day. So I assume by email I received from Gino that our presence there is supposed to be larger, much larger than we have been planning so far. So just to have this in mind, probably when Eunice will come back, you will discuss this. But we clearly will need, a strategy to address these goals, events that are so close one to the other and so strategic.
Absolutely. But I confirm we do not want all 8 model cities being in Warsaw at the COP. This was not the intention ever. We do not have the budget for that, quite frankly. So when Gino says he wants a large group of cities going, then please exclude the model cities as far as possible. Ideally, we should just identify then one mayor who's eloquent in English, who can speak well and represent the project because the side event will be an urban LEDS event, but we will also show our connection to the GPC and all the other work we're doing. So we're squeezing a lot into that one clay side event. But I'll also discuss it again with we had discussed this very briefly in several meetings, but there seems to still be no coordination, which is a bit of a pity. But we'll get back to you as soon as we can with some guidance. Okay, then we move on to Georgia, the European city selection.
Yep. Okay.
Just a quick question. Sorry, George. Sorry,
Yes.
sorry, George. Just a quick question about the network, international networking seminar. Regarding the budget, Bruno and I, we made analysis of our budget, and previously it was forecasted to send just one representative from each city. I remember in Bonn, we decided to send an extra person from each city because people didn't attend the last COP, but we sent a representative from Belo Horizonte last year, and our budget is a bit tight, to send an extra person from each city. And so we are a bit concerned about sending 4 people from Brazil. And I would like to discuss that with you, one-to-one basis.
Okay. I think in principle you need to look at your own individual budget, but indeed I think we should plan with, at this point, with one person. Again, looking at all these multiple events, it might be that we could maybe support 1 or 2 people to go to the different events. So I'll come up with a plan after speaking to Gino about this, and then we'll get back with advice.
Okay.
Okay, Georgia, back to you.
Okay. Yes. So last time I gave you an overview of the list that we decided as our preferred choice for the first 8 cities to become our European cities. We have been in touch with all of them. Most of them have answered, and in a quite positive way. 2 of them have basically confirmed. I'm waiting for the written letter of intent signed. In one case, Gaziantep didn't require a formal request to the mayor, but Zagreb wanted one. We sent them, so we are waiting for the agreement to be signed. Almada, I got in touch yesterday, finally after a lot of follow-up with our ICLE liaison. And they seem to be very keen. She requested me to send a formal invitation to the mayor herself. And she said that it sounds like a very good opportunity, especially in regard of collaborating with Brazilian cities. We're particularly excited about that. And she said that there is now an election time for them. And the Libyan mayor is still campaigning, and they are still discussing and trying to wrap up the last things that they have been doing also on the environmental field, but she will bring her attention immediately this week to this issue, and most likely, as it is a quite high-profiling project, she foresees that they will have to discuss it in the council. The council will gather together after summer on the 11th of September. So she might give us already an indication if it's a yes or no, but then the signature from the council will come then. Concerning Gothenburg, they told me that they will discuss and they will take a decision in August. The same for Nantes. They will also meet up and discuss in August. Freiburg, we have sent a formal invitation. I was actually trying to get in touch with our liaison, but she called me and not called me back again. I don't know. But Wolfgang will follow up directly with them in person. Who's left? Oh, only Warsaw has not been answering to me, but now I think Marke is going to push a little bit for an answer as soon as possible. As you have direct contact, I think it might work out better. And we pick up your recommendation on also inviting Hanover, so the first email went off today.
Okay, wonderful, thanks a lot. Good, so I think the cities we've selected there definitely have a lot of value to add, and as soon as they're confirmed, then the European Secretariat will engage with them a little bit more in detail, but ideally they will then strongly support the work we do in putting in cases in the Solutions Gateway and so on. And ideally also a few of them would come to South Africa. Good, then the LEDS Global Partnership. Francie, would you like to give a quick update? Or shall I?
Yeah, maybe you could start with the recent agreement on the communications and the coordination, and then I can add on the working group on subnational national integration.
Okay. All right. Good. So we will send around a new document outlining the communication with the different LEDS global partnership platforms and working groups, because this is quite complicated. So there are thematic working groups and regional platforms. A few officers have already indicated that they wanted to join regional platforms, and we will send a document around in which we will show how to deal with internal communication. Essentially, I am the lead contact person representing ICLE towards the LEDS Global Partnership Secretariat. We are in the lucky position to have Florenzi as the vice chair of the one working group that is actually very closely connected to both the work we do in urban LEDs and in the whole roadmap process. So they would be the need for informing both of us when things are moving. So, but read the document that I will send out to you right after this meeting, and then get back to us as requested. Florenzi, over to you.
Yeah, so I sent you a document a few days ago specifically on the subnational national integration working group. The stage we are now, as you know, it's a new working group that has been established in February this year. So basically, so far we have been, between chairs and co-chairs and the members, we have been discussing and establishing a work plan, the one that I sent you. The next stage would be to start discussing and presenting this work plan in a larger audience. So basically the regional platforms and the sector platforms, and see how we can integrate our activities to the other working groups. And then, of course, at the same time, start implementation. So basically, we have established work on the infrastructure. So membership, increase the membership and communications and website, etc. A toolbox. So basically, the idea is to have an inventory on activities, project, resources, and tools available on subnational national integration of LEDs. And then finally, some capacity building, both workshops and webinars. Eventually, we are thinking on pilots. What I would need from you, I'm not sure if you have been able to take a look in this document, but it would be good to have your feedback on whether you would be able, your regional offices would be able to contribute, especially in the capacity building activities and the toolbox, in the mapping of activities and tools and etc. We have, so the LEDS Secretariat has some funding available, but it's expected, yeah, so they expect to have some co-funding on that. So we can either, as chairs and co-chairs, we can either go and search for funding, the Secretariat could help us for that, or we have in-kind contributions, or we have funding available in our organizations and we are able to connect somehow to our activities. So basically this is it, and then what I need from you is to know if you are available or not, and if you are, in which extent you would be available to support this. So basically the toolbox and the capacity building. I think it's a very nice opportunity to connect our capacity building in urban LEDs with the LEDS GP activities. It can give us another visibility and another kind of support, I guess. So I think my feeling is that it would be very easy to just connect to our urban LEDs activities. But please take a look and come back to me by email. I've been sending a couple of bilateral emails. Basically, there's some opportunities arising in Africa. I've just sent one to Stephen Kopi-Maraki. USAID is very interested and seems very interested in our urban LEDs activities in Asia. So I think it's a good networking and a good place for us to foster and promote our activities. So please, my suggestion would be for you to, to have a careful look into it and get back to me, please.
Okay, thank you very much. I just also want to reiterate, we are getting more and more invited to join training seminars organized by various UN agencies, so our profile is raising also in particular through Urban LEDS. So I would like you maybe also to share training presentations that you've given to your cities, that we could start building a pool of great presentations, and then in particular also case studies, like 2 slides showing how a city is set to work through, or how a city has gone about doing data collection for greenhouse gas inventory and things like that, which we can then use to show how the approaches are around the world. It's not urgent, but please, if you have great presentations, send it to us and share, and then we can use it also when we do our international training. At the moment, there are quite a few training opportunities, not linked to the LEDS Global Partnership, but to a couple of UN agencies, mostly happening in Asia. So I would be happy to get examples of anything that you'd happy to share with us that we show a good practice or as an activity going on in the cities. Good. Any questions on these issues? I'm very quickly skipping the next topics with a very brief update. We are revisiting all the MOUs that have been signed with international organizations at the moment. Dina's office is busy doing that, so I will get an update as soon as they've done this. If you, in the meantime, have a requirement to connect because you want to work with international organization or a regional branch thereof, please send me an email listing who it is you want to connect to them, and then we can see if we need a global MOU with that organization as well, or possibly one might already exist, so we'll do a check on that. And regarding China, I will be speaking at a conference in Shenyang in a few weeks' time, which is our first invite to speak at a Chinese low-carbon conference. So it would be a nice opportunity for us also to see how they would like to further connect to us. Secondly, we're doing a China research study, which a university professor in China is busy doing for us for an analysis on what is happening in China so that we can see if we can well connect to those developments. Some of this we will share with UN Habitat, some of it not. We still are deciding how much is actually urban-led specific and how much is actually for ICLE at a strategic value. But whatever it is, we'll share also happily with you. If any of you have contacts with China, please keep me posted that we also coordinate on developments there. Any questions on those 2 issues? Nope. Okay. Then we hop to Work Package 5, Urban-Led Support. Admittedly, we're a little bit behind on both the solutions gateway and the pool of experts. I think, Anna, can you give us a very, very, very brief update on both of these issues? What that would be.
Sure, I'll be happy to. Very quickly, can you hear me well? Can you hear me well? Okay. Very quickly, just so we are all in the same page, we've identified 3 roles for the development of content for the solution gateway. One is, of course, the development or drafting of content, if you will, and then revision. That's very important to have a revision to ensure the quality of our materials. And the third role would be the coordination of the entire process. Of course, the coordination could be accumulated, one role, drafting or final revision. But this coordination is very important because what we would like to do is also to bring into this process external entities, entities that have work done, for example, NGOs have work done in the field of the solution package, and that could add both to the quality of the solution, but also to the credibility of the solution, and at the same time help a little bit with the dissemination of this tool in the media. I mean, with the parts that may be interested in this. So if you are curious in the internet, under the work package 5, there are several files there uploaded with the resources for the development of content for the solutions gateway. The revised templates are there, but also a one-sheet description of the proposed process, which also basically lists the requirements that we expect. So a very important component will of course be case studies, and not just the filling in the forms of the solution of the solution package, but also getting those inspiring case studies that we definitely want to have in the Solutionscape. So as far as possible, I'm beginning with trying to identify in-house what expertise we have in the different offices to be able to put together at least the draft for the different packages, and who would be able to do that revision, but also trying to identify organizations that could also then make another revision to add to that quality and credibility. And well, I will start to try to map out some NGOs that might have in their mission to do knowledge sharing and technology sharing, and so that might eventually be willing to do this revision for free. Let's try that. We'll see what we get, but definitely would like to extend the invitation to the other offices of ICLEI to see what we can put together on the solutions. So to give you an update on this, what's going on so far, currently we are drafting the terms of reference to hire an IT service company to put the platform online. Content-wise, this is the progress so far. So I've drafted the solar hot water package, and I'm happy to have Siegfried's collaboration for the revision of this of these contents and case studies. I've sent a first invitation to an external to an NGO for a revision. In this case, I started with Irena. Let's see if they are willing to engage. If not, I will try. I can try some other organizations trying to engage here. But this is just a first package, trying to use it also as an example of what can be done for the developers, of the other solution packages. So here's where we are so far. Regarding the mobility packages, I'm happy to say we're going to have the collaboration of Sunny. He has not only the expertise, the technical expertise, and in terms of work with the local governments, but also the connections with the organizations that may be able to provide relevant content and case study. I'm thinking of GIZ, ITPP, ADB, and so forth. We've had their working on this. The plan is to have a meeting with all these possible partners for the development of these solution packages in the Mobility Conference in Suwon, September. So hopefully that will get things going, and the aim is to finish all those packages by March 2014. And here, going to the other solution packages, here I sent some invitations to some of the offices, and I was hoping to try to get a reply on the invitations. One of the invitations was to dance on the green economy, and this was because while revising the pre-existing materials, it became now evident that SANS really does have a lot of work done in that field. And yesterday I got confirmation from Igor that he will use the template we'll test on the green economy. I haven't really sent a formal invitation, let's say, to develop the solution package, but just an invitation to test the templates with this particular solution. This is very relevant, with the solution package. This is very relevant because the examples that I've used to test templates before have always had a technical component, and I would like to see how the templates perform with this topic that may eventually focus more on issues like governance, procurement, and things like that. So we will be monitoring closely how the templates perform. This, if needed, will make further adjustments to the text. Igor, I don't know if you want to say something regarding this.
Yes, just to let you know, I haven't looked at the template, but I haven't started yet. This week I will be less busy with other tasks, so I will be able to do it properly. And yeah, sure, I will then discuss with my team and friends, and then I will send to you. And so by at the latest, by the end of next week, you have it done.
Okay. Oh, that would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. It would be great if we could have some team, and then also have the contribution of the European Secretariat, let's say, for a revision of this package. And I think that would ensure a good package. Thank you very much, Igor.
Yeah, just a quick question about that.
Sure,
so basically, just need to adjust our existing knowledge into that sheet, or do you need to add more knowledge or more potential opportunities into that, or what do you really want with that?
Well, I've made available, it's in the internet, and I sent it also by email. I've made available a proposed methodology, let's say, for the development of a solution package. What I propose initially, and this is basically based on my experience here with the solar hot water package. So what I propose initially is for you to sit together, I mean your team that has expertise in green economy, sit together and brainstorm on the different actions that may be undertaken under those different categories that we discussed earlier. You know, like the policy, regulation, governance, capacity building, awareness raise, and so on. That's basically how I started. Then once I had, after that brainstorming initial step, where I had all the actions listed, it was easier for me to group them into solutions. I mean, into coherent clusters that made sense together. Where the actions would fit in, would be complementary to each other. But at some, while the different solutions can relate, are related among themselves and are also complementary, they can also, let's say, stand on their own. So this would be the challenge that I would leave to you. These documents are all open for comment, of course, and your comments on them, on also testing them to see if these documents work or not, your feedback will be very valuable. Yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, as you go along. So let's see, mention mobility, green economy, the solar hot water. Regarding low emission development, urban planning, we will soon have with us here at the World Secretariat an intern, Xenia. She is precisely from, she has an academic background on urban planning, and we hope to have her drafting some solution packages in this field, and then to have invite UN Habitat to give us feedback on these, and if needed, of course, get the expertise from other from the pool of experts. For example, the association ISOCARP also seems very interesting because they do have a lot of direct contact with cities. They work directly with cities, and they are also very interesting with how connected on this. Regarding the invitations that I had sent to ROs, I had sent an email to Asia asking them if they would be interested and available to develop some solution packages. This was also motivated by the materials that I found, and it seemed that you guys had some experience in this field. Would I don't know who is still online. I don't see Sumya here. Ashish, do you have any information on this? I think everybody else from South Asia has left by now.
I know, I'm Soumya here.
Oh, you are there. Wonderful.
Yeah. Anna, I apologize. Can you please send that back to me? I don't know. Maybe it's lost in my vacation email, but please just send that email back to me, and I can. Then we would definitely be interested in supporting the development solutions package any which way. So, yeah, if you could just kindly resend that email to me.
Okay, thank you very much. I will do it, Sumya. I will do that. Okay, and I also had sent a proposal to Siegfried to try also to engage the European Secretariat in other packages, like water, for example, related to water supply, also related to wastewater. Siegfried, is it possible to give any feedback at this time, or is it too soon?
Yes, I talked to our water team about it yesterday, and it's a matter of what capacity they can really mobilize for that one. It's only really one half staff member that could work on it. He's back from leave next week, and it's a question of whether he actually can put it 12 hours in his big schedule for that.
Which one, sorry? Which package are you referring to?
The water ones.
Thank you.
Both your water things.
Okay.
I thought I wrote an email back to you on that. Did I just intend to?
I don't see it here. If you could resend it, I would appreciate, Sigrid.
I've already sent it. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, thank you very much. So this is the update right now. So we hope to, as soon as possible, launch a call to select an IT service company. But well, regarding content, I think in terms of having the five first packages, I'm not sure if I don't think, to be honest, I don't think the August deadline is feasible anymore, but I think September is. In terms of having the system online, since we are launching a call to hire external services, I think the system will probably only be on the end of the my opinion without actually having confirmation from Joe, but I don't think it can be done earlier. This was the update. Sorry to take so long.
Yes, thank you very much, Anna. In a very brief update on the pool of experts, my update is I will be sending you an update. At the moment, this is still hanging on this, the subcontracting and the rules of procurement from UN Habitat, which we have now received, all 285 pages. So Monica is studying that at the moment also to come up with very clear guidance for all of you on how we can bring in and pay different people. Stephen has sent a nice long email which to read again with terms of reference for our pools of experts. So yeah, ideally we will give you feedback on that early next week, and then you can move forward with engaging your experts as well. I think Steve Gordon's has also shared some nice documents we could do, and we'll come up with a nice package for you that would give you useful guidance on approaching experts. Questions on work 5?
Marika?
Yes, I just wanted to...
Okay, first Steve, and then Jamia.
We in the African Secretariat have drafted a proposal for use of the experts already, and we wanted to get this group's okay or input into that, even though we can't decide on how we fund that. Just in principle, if you would be willing to spend some of that money on a particular expertise, some experts to assist the African Secretariat, but also to produce a global potential. So I would like, if possible, if I can set this group for comments this week, then they can give their in-principle reply as to whether they're happy the money spent on such activity, and then at least move a little bit before we find out what the procurement rules are.
Okay, I will read through your email very carefully again and look at the attachment, and definitely we can finalize it this week to give you an in principle. Okay. Okay, Soumya, over to you.
Yeah, Marika, I just had a question. I was looking at the list, and are we looking? Okay, so the list of experts that we put in there, would you necessarily want them to help the other offices as well? Is that a prerequisite, or could we have national experts on there who would help the Indian scenario?
Okay, I would say it's not a prerequisite. I think it's interesting for us to know if an expert is an international expert, a regional expert, or a country expert. Maybe that's a column which in particular put into that list as well. If it is an international expert, for example, Conrad van Rutter on the NAMAs, I find that's the person who could probably train us on NAMA processes, and it could add value for multiple offices. If you have an in-country expert, that is fine, but we just also need to make sure that we need to fulfill particular criteria so that it's clear that it's not just selecting your friend, if you understand what I'm saying. So that there has to be some procedure behind the selection as well. And all of these things, ideally, we will clarify very soon. But I think have all of you now added your experts to the main list?
We haven't put in our list as yet. I'm waiting for Kumar to be back and then confirm it with him and then put it on there. Okay. Definitely, I mean, there is no question about having friends on that list, but it would definitely be people who would contribute. But I just wanted to know, because some of them are really good on the Indian scenario and not necessarily have the wherewithal to contribute internationally. There are others who would do both. So. Okay, so we can put that in as a column in addition to what we have. Also, Steve Gawler shared like a framework contract where you would have maybe one expert who would pull for multiple tasks. So that would also be an option that we can explore. Okay, so I'll try and give you an update on the pool of experts to the African Secretariat by this week, and to the rest of you ideally before I start traveling again next week. Admittedly, I am on the road a lot. Anna is going on holiday. Luca and Eunice are then also still on holiday, so it's a little bit tight in terms of staff capacity. But if you have something urgent, just flag it as urgent and keep on chasing me until I reply. Good. Then we move to work package 6. I believe Anna has now repeatedly sent a few updates on the German NAVA facility. I think the only office that came back to us was Southeast Asia with an analysis that they thought ICLE would qualify, but that is not our assessment. Anna, quickly over to you.
Yes, we did get a reply from Southeast Asia saying that they were exploring with the Philippine government what they could do here. and we would like to get the feedback from the other offices on what they're feeling regarding the German NAMA facilities, if they feel they can use it, if they feel that that is not the case. Here, our interpretation, and of course, can contact directly to the NAMA facility to ask for clarification. But our interpretation is that ICLE cannot submit an application directly unless the national government nominates ICLE as delivery, as official delivery body. I'm sorry, now here I like the proper term, delivery entity. But still, this does not prevent ICLE from using this German NAMA facility as an opportunity to get a better positioning near the national governments, and eventually try to generate the dynamics to lead to an application to this facility. So have the other offices given any thought to this? Shall we go alphabetically? Africa? Hello?
No,
Steven?
I haven't given any thought to it.
Okay. I think in principle this is a potential funding opportunity for our model and satellite cities and even other members so you could point their draw their attention to this if it is a funding opportunity that you would like to share with them. If you don't want to engage, if you as ICLE want to engage, wonderful, but just try to find a way that where you don't get disqualified. So read carefully all the guidelines. Being a German school, they're probably very lengthy guidelines. I think it's not worthwhile now going to each of the offices. Essentially, you need to do your own assessment if this is of interest or not. And we hopefully will find many more of these future funding opportunities for the cities. Then a final update on the Climate Prio tool. Siegfried and myself have been speaking to a Dutch institute which focuses on responsible planning, but they've developed a very interesting multi-criteria decision-making analysis tool. Prio, and our intention is to try and see if we can get this tool as part of our cluster of tools. So we're now waiting to see if we can sign an MOU. You did. This would become model cities. Sorry. Model cities. Okay. So essentially, this would be a wonderful for cities to identify their as soon as we know we may use the tool, share it widely with getting a training session from them, but it is pretty straightforward. Both Siegfried and Anna found that it's probably quite a valuable tool for our use as well. So we'll keep you posted on that. We can add that to our cities tools. Heat peaks we've already addressed, but I would imagine, Sonia, it might be useful if you could just very briefly by email any dates that are for you now planning dates, so that we can also consider that, including then the planning for the GPC, if you can give an estimate at least. That would be useful. And I've just sent you all a work package 7 update by email, which was Eunice's update to you in Habitat. Please don't share that particular email. It's written in slightly confidential, but essentially it's useful for all of you to know about the Friends of Cities group that was established and a lot of the climate advocacy news. We have not been able to connect to India and South Africa on the Friends of Cities group. So we might need to maybe brainstorm a little bit with Eunice when he's back from holiday, how to bring them into that group, or at least invite them actively. But Indonesia is fully on board, and I believe Brazil is exploring, so it looks good, at least in that sense. Are there any other issues? We've now gone on for quite a while, 2 hours and 10 minutes. I think that's maybe time to stop the meeting. Any final questions or comments, things that need clarification? No? Gone? All right, so as usual, please stay in touch by email. Thank you all for your updates. I think it's been very positive again. And yeah, please send us your brief updated reports in the same style as to what Bruna did in the presentation. I think this is very helpful, and this will also help us now to give an update report to you and Habitat. In addition to your work plans, which are also part of the attachments we need to send. Thank you very much all, and have a nice day or evening, wherever you are. Thank you.
Unmuted.
Did you mute me again, Anna?
No. I wasn't muting everybody now.
So, did you hear me say goodbye?